Listening to English stories can change the way you learn the language. You don't need a textbook, just a good story and a curious mind. Today's story is not just for entertainment. It's also a great way to train your ears, grow your vocabulary, and pick up natural sentence structures. So put on your headphones, relax, and let's dive into this strange experience. And remember, if you like stories like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our daily adventures. Let's begin. Liam was just an ordinary guy with a simple routine. He lived in a quiet neighborhood near the edge of the city. Every morning, he left his small apartment, walked 3 blocks to the bus stop, and took the same route to work. In the evening, he usually stopped at a small grocery store, bought some fruit, and headed home before the streets got too dark. But one day, something strange happened. It was a Thursday. The weather was warm, but a little cloudy. As Liam walked out of his building and turned the corner toward the main road, he noticed a yellow car parked on the other side of the street. It was old, really old. The paint was faded. The windows were slightly dusty. But the engine was running, and the headlights were on. At first, he didn't think much of it. He walked past, checked his phone, and kept moving. When he reached the bus stop and waited for the next ride, he looked behind him. The yellow car was still there, parked in the same spot, still running. He felt a little uneasy, but tried to ignore it. The bus came, and Liam got on. As the bus drove down the street, he turned his head and glanced through the back window. The yellow car pulled away from the curb and followed the bus. That's when his heart skipped a beat. Maybe it was just a coincidence. Maybe it was someone else's route. But the timing felt too exact. At the next stop, Liam got off earlier than usual. He turned right, walked fast through a small alley, and entered a coffee shop he didn't usually visit. He sat at the back table near the window and waited. A few minutes passed. Then he saw it. The same yellow car drove slowly past the coffee shop. It didn't stop. It didn't honk. It just rolled by. Liam sat frozen in his chair. Who was in that car? Why were they following him? He waited 15 more minutes. The car didn't come back. He left the shop, took a longer route to work, and tried to forget about it. But it didn't end there. That evening, as he walked out of the grocery store near his apartment, the yellow car was parked across the street again. Still running. Still quiet. No sign of the driver. Liam looked around. There were other people on the street. A dog barked in the distance. A kid rode past on a bicycle. Nothing seemed out of place, except that car. He crossed the street quickly, turned the next corner, and walked faster than usual. The sound of an engine behind him made him turn. The yellow car rolled by slowly again, then turned left and disappeared. This continued the next day, and the next. Every time Liam changed his route, the car appeared. It never stopped, never opened its window, never followed too close. Just enough to be noticed. Liam started feeling paranoid. He began looking over his shoulder. He changed his walking path 5 times in one morning. He even called a friend and asked if anyone could be playing a joke on him. But no one knew what he was talking about. By the 4th day, Liam was exhausted. His sleep was broken. His meals tasted like cardboard. His eyes were always scanning for yellow. That Saturday, he decided to do something bold. He grabbed his backpack, left home before sunrise, and walked to a completely different part of town. No buses. No usual stops. He wanted to see if the car would still appear. He wandered through a flea market, browsed old books, bought a sandwich from a cart, and sat on a bench in a quiet park. Hours passed. No car. For the first time in days, Liam felt his shoulders relax. He leaned back on the bench and looked up at the grey sky. Maybe it was over. Maybe whoever was watching him had given up. He stood, stretched, and walked out of the park. Then he saw it. At the far end of the street, near a closed bakery, the yellow car was parked. It wasn't running this time. The lights were off. But it was there. Liam's stomach turned. He walked toward it slowly, trying to look casual. As he got closer, he saw something on the windshield. A note, folded and tucked under the wiper. His hands shook as he pulled it out and opened it. The note said, "I'm not here to hurt you. I just need to give you something." There was no name, no phone number, just those words. Liam looked at the car again. The windows were dark. He still couldn't see inside. But the door on the driver's side opened. A man stepped out. He looked to be in his 50s. Grey beard, long coat, tired eyes. He held something in his hand. A box. Small. Wrapped in brown paper. Without speaking, he walked up to Liam and handed him the box. Then he turned and walked away. Down the sidewalk. Around the corner. Gone. Liam stood there for a long moment. He looked at the box. No label. No writing. Just plain paper and string. He didn't open it there. He went home. Locked the door. Sat at his kitchen table. Then slowly, carefully, he opened the box. Inside was a photograph. A black and white picture of a young man and a woman sitting on a bench. And next to the photo was a letter. It said, "This is your father and mother. This was taken before you were born. I was your father's best friend. We promised if anything happened to him, I would find you and show you this. It took me many years, but I finally found you. You deserve to know who you are." Liam's heart ached. His father had passed away when he was just a child. His mother never talked about the past. He had no photos, no family stories. Until now. He looked at the people in the photo. The man looked just like him. Same eyes. Same smile. And the woman, her face had the warmth of someone he felt he already knew. He held the letter tight. The yellow car had never been a threat. It was a messenger. It had followed him not to scare him, but to bring him a part of his past. Something he never knew he needed. And after that day, the car never returned. You just listened to an entire English story. And while listening, you weren't just entertained. You were learning. New words, useful phrases, natural patterns, they all entered your mind without effort. If you want more stories like this, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Now tell me in the comments, what would you do if a strange car followed you for days? Would you run away, or walk up to it like Liam? Let me know what you think.